Good morning. Hello, hello. So, if you are new to the group or new to my Instagram, I am Andrea Smith with Happy Cloud Creations, and we will be going over our Frame It Quilt Along week 6 today. So, if you're in the Facebook Quilt Along group, right now we're working on the Frame It quilt, which is behind me. And if you're on Instagram and not joining in, it's not too late to join in. This quilt goes together super quick, and right now it's 15% off through the end of the Quilt Along. The end of the Quilt Along will be April 9th. This week I'm just kind of jumping on to see if anyone has questions, see how everybody's doing. Last week I went over how to finish our blocks, and the week before I went over how to make a square and square in our 3 different methods. The pattern comes with the main pattern. If I can get to that page. Uses the method where you take a square and sew triangles around that square. And so I know some people are scared to sew with triangles on the bias. So I made 2 supplementals. You haven't started yet, Flow Creations, but I will get caught up this week. Yeah, it goes together super quick. So if you're making a throw or a baby, it will go together super quick. I know some people are making a twin and a queen. Someone's making a king. So those obviously will take a little longer. The throw only has 12 blocks, which isn't very much at all. It comes with the 2 other supplementals. A lot of people, I took a poll in the group, and most people prefer the main pattern. After that, I haven't looked at the poll in a while. We have the stitch and flip method, and we have the half square triangle method, which the half square triangle method is basically sewing 4 half square triangles together. But if you do that, you'll get your center, you'll get those seams. And I kind of like the look of no seams in there. It makes it look nicer. Stitch and flip, you won't get those seams, but you're wasting a lot of fabric because you're sewing 4 squares onto a square, and then you're cutting off that fabric and tossing it. Hi, Anita. I'm making a queen for my mom. Awesome. She'll love that. That's a really nice gift. Hi, Suzanne. Found you. Yay, you found me. Yeah, so earlier in the Facebook group, I posted 1 hour and 10 minutes thinking I was starting at 10:15, but usually on Tuesdays I start at 10 because my son starts at 9, so that gives me enough time to start the video. Flow Creation says, Overachiever here is making a king size quilt. Ooh! I know another person is making a king size in the group, as in the Facebook group. It should go together super quick though. If you chain piece, so the quilt along goes, last week we did 4 blocks, this week we do 4 blocks, next week we do 4 blocks. When I make a quilt, I like to chain piece my quilts. So I have my 4 first blocks done from last week. I have 2 that look exactly like this, and then my other 2 look like this. So the rest of them, just in prepping for the video, I just did all the rest 8. I what's it called? Chain pieced them all. I did all the side pieces, then I did all the top and bottom pieces. I feel chain piecing kind of goes together a little quicker. You just do each step all at once. So now the rest of my 8 blocks, I just need to match up the sides and then sew those strips on. So I'll figure out which pieces go on the sides and the tops. I'll sew all those little strips together because I have all my little strips together. And then I'll pin them, sew them all together at once, iron them all at once, and then sew them all to all my blocks at once. I think it kind of goes together quicker. But I did a poll. I do polls all the time. I love polls. I did a poll asking if people prefer doing 1 block at a time or doing one step all at a time. And people actually said they liked making one block at a time, which I kind of prefer, you know, the chain piecing, doing it all at a time. If anybody has questions about this quilt along or finishing your blocks, please let me know. How are you guys doing? How are you liking it? Is it fun? Do you like this quilt? I'm like to chain. Brenda says she likes to chain piece also. It's much faster. I'm on the last end of all my blocks. Awesome, Brenda. Yeah, I feel like it goes faster doing each step all at once. That's what I did with my swoon quilt for my daughter. At first I was just making one block at a time. I'm like, this is taking forever. So I'm like, I'm just going to do each step once at a time, and then the rest came together really quickly. Linda, I have the short strips sewn on of the solid fabrics. Awesome. Yeah, so just get all those done. Chain piece it. Love the pattern. Awesome. I'm glad you love the pattern. I know there's probably no questions, because I think the probably most difficult part about this is the square and square block, which is not very difficult at all, you know. So I am a big fan of patterns that are quick, easy, but it looks cool. Like, it's not just a, you know, a plain quilt. I like a design that looks cool, but it's not hard to achieve. Awesome, Brenda. I'm so happy you love the pattern. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, what was I gonna say? I know somebody was saying their blocks were ending up a little smaller than 16.5 inches. That is probably because your seams are a little bit bigger than a scant 1/4 inch seam. So if you're using a scant 1/4 inch seam, which is on your ruler, it would be a 1/4 inch, but it would be a tiny bit smaller than a 1/4 inch. So like one thread width smaller than a 1/4 inch. So like, since these are 2.5 inch strips, this, when you measure it, it should come out to 2 inches. If it's coming out a little bit smaller, that means you're eating up a little bit more at each of your seam, and it's going to make your whole block overall a little bit smaller than 16.5 inches, which is not a problem if all of your blocks are the same size. So that's our goal. Since we're using sashing in between each block, we want to make sure all of our blocks are the same size. And then what's nice about this pattern I liked, if you have to trim some of the blocks because they're a little bit bigger than others, you're not going to cut off any points because there's no points to cut off on the edges. So, you know, whenever you're cutting off, squaring up a block, I would recommend measuring from the center out. So since this is a 16.5 inch block, I'd want to line this center seam up with the 8 1/4 inch on your cutting mat, and then measure out this way to trim. That way your whole block is even, instead of, oh, it's you know, a little bit bigger, I'm going to trim all of my excess off one side. If you do that, it'll be a little lopsided, and you don't want that. So you want it to be all over the same proportions. Same with this center block. I noticed some people, I know Facebook is a little bit different. The center one, if you were to trim, like, it was bigger than 8 1/2, it was supposed to be bigger than 8 1/2. If you were to measure from one side and trim all your excess off one, it would be lopsided. So that's why in the directions I have you measuring it at 4 1/4 and trimming that way. I hope that made sense. So yeah, there's not much to go over this week. I just kind of wanted to see how you guys were doing. Anyone struggling out there, I would like to help you with that. Answer any questions you have. Next week, we'll be making the last 4 blocks. If you're doing the throw, if you're doing a twin, queen, or king, each week you'll want to try to do a little bit extra. And then that final week, we will be, hi Sue. That final week, we'll be putting all our blocks together, adding the sashing. I'll go over that, how I add the sashing, because some of these sashing strips are longer than a width of fabric. So you're going to have to sew those strips together and then cut them down to size. Also, some people aren't even using sashing. Some people in the group have posted pictures of their finished tops without any sashing, which will look really cool. You can get different patterns when you connect them. If you connect the same colors, I kind of tried to keep this one as random as possible, which is very hard for me. I like scrappy organized, and I was like, I don't ever do random scrappy. So this one I really tried to do random scrappy, make it look organically scrappy. I think this one's going to be a little more organized scrappy, since it's going to have 3 identical blocks, 4 different sets of 3 identical blocks. So it's going to be less random, but I think I'll like that. So yeah, next week I might jump on just to see how you guys are doing and kind of go over the things you will need for the last week. Just, you know, all the tools and all the things you may need. But yeah, so I'm glad everybody's, you know, seems like everybody's doing okay. You know, nobody's struggling, so that's good. Yeah. So if there's no other questions, I think I will let you guys get back to your lives and get back to sewing or cleaning. Kind of have to do some cleaning. It's been really nice weather here. Yesterday was 70, and today is supposed to be 70, which is like summertime weather for Washington. Western Washington, that is. So I guess today's supposed to be warm, so I'm going to open up the windows, get some fresh air in here. Thank you, Linda. She says I'm a great pattern writer. Thank you. I don't know. I tried to make it so that everybody can do the pattern, because I know there's some people out there that get discouraged when they're like, this is confusing, or I'm just a beginner, I can't do this. I would really like everybody to try quilting, because quilting's a lot of fun. I like it. It's a fun hobby. So I guess nobody has questions, so that's awesome. If you do have a question, you can always email me at happycloudcreations at gmail.com, or you can send me a direct message in my Facebook group. You would just click on Happy Cloud Creations or my Facebook page. On Instagram, you know, just send me a direct message. So I guess I will leave you guys to your day. Have a wonderful day, and I will be back on here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. Goodbye. Goodbye, Linda. Goodbye, Sue. Goodbye, Brenda. Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye, Anita. Everybody that was on here. Talk to you later.